Hello, welcome to video number 3 of our mini course, Know How the IRS Works. I'm Kathy Anderson, co-founder of Avoid Being Audited and owner of Solon's Tax and Accounting. I've been helping people do their taxes for over 30 years. I'm excited to be here, and I'm even more excited to tell you about how the IRS works when they audit someone. Going into an audit is just like going into any sport competition. Before you can be effective in playing the game, you have to know the rules. IRS audits are the same. If you want to effectively communicate with the IRS and be able to defend your deductions, you have to know the rules. So let's get into the details of who gets audited and what will happen if you get audited. First, let's look at who gets audited and why. The IRS has 2 main methods for selecting people and businesses to audit. One way the IRS chooses to audit people is random selection. The IRS has a certain number of people they audit every year that they select at random, which means everyone has a chance of being audited. There is nothing you can do to prevent this type of audit. No one is safe. You just have to make sure you are prepared to defend yourself. The other and biggest method the IRS uses is scanning for unusual or excessive deductions and/or mistakes on tax returns. These are the red flags we talked about in video 2. We see this mostly with people who just don't understand what is deductible and what is not. So, to sum things up, a person gets audited because they don't know what they're doing with their deductions, or they're just unlucky. Now that you know why a person gets audited and how they are chosen, let's take a look at how the IRS audits people. But before we get into the ways the IRS audits people, let me give you a little warning that is going to save you a lot of potential trouble. There are 2 ways that the IRS does not contact you for an audit or for any reason. These 2 ways are by email or by fax. If you receive an email or a fax claiming to be from the IRS, it is a scam. You should not respond, and you should report it to the IRS immediately at irs.gov. Now that we have that little warning out of the way, let's look at the ways the IRS will audit you. There are 3 different ways the IRS uses to audit individuals and businesses. The least threatening way is through a letter. The IRS will send a letter detailing an error on your tax return and a request for taxes due because of the error. These letters can be intimidating, and a lot of people don't know what to do with them. The second way the IRS uses to audit people is by asking you to go to their office. This can be inconvenient because you have to travel to their office and bring all your records. It is a lot more intimidating because you are actually meeting with an IRS agent face to face. The third way the IRS audits people is in-person visits to your place of residence or business. These are often called field audits and are the most intimidating of the IRS's methods. A lot of people don't know what to do when they get audited, so they just pay what the IRS says or ignore the communication and get into even more trouble. But guess what? The IRS makes mistakes, and you have the right to defend yourself. Why pay that money when you don't have to? Also, ignoring the IRS is the worst thing you can do. If you work with them, they will work with you. People only get in trouble, such as seized bank accounts or property, when they ignore the IRS. Be sure to check out our next video where we will teach you the number 1 thing you need to know in order to defend yourself in an audit. As always, if you are ready to start learning more in depth about how to avoid being audited while saving on your taxes, check out our CD set, Tax Secrets Revealed. Click Buy Now or Learn More.